Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every week we get together to talk about movies, TV, and online content and help answer the question, would calling for a Star Wars reboot be the only thing that unites the Star Wars community? I'm your host, Asher. Hopefully join me today. Dylan Blatt.
No.
You think people would still be separated?
I ain't give a fuck about no Star Wars reboot, so
no,
I'm
like
separated straight away.
Like unite everybody against it.
No, people would be for it because they'd be like, "Oh, thank God, we finally removed the SJW element." Yeah.
No, but like OG Luke, Leia, Han.
Yeah, because that
They were always
they had stuff in there about wars, man. I know it's in the title, but don't put it in my video games.
Yeah. I don't want wars if people actually fight. No, that's terrible.
Yeah.
None of this. Just
that
murdering innocent people. What is this? You know?
Yeah, keep your politics out of my Star Wars. Keep your wars out of my Star Wars.
Yeah. All right. On today's episode, we'll be talking about what's in our watch history, going over some film news, giving you this week's top 3, and giving some thumbs to trailers. Dylan, how about you kick us off and talk about Martin Scorsese's latest film, Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yeah, so obviously, this movie
was a
was
Killer
made...
of the Flower Moon.
It's Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, there's multiple.
Plural.
So,
Okay.
yeah, plural. This movie was made to shit on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think Martin Scorsese should go to jail because, I think he purposely made such a slow and boring film to just prove,
that's why it's 3 hours long, so you get backed up, so you could shit all over.
No, Killers of the Flower Moon is fantastic. I like it. So it's this. I think when we talked about it, the funniest thing, slight spoilers. You know how we talked about this and was like, man, this is. I think we referenced like Watchmen and the fucking Tulsa stuff. That's like, I remember I mentioned that at one stage during one of the trailers. So you got all the Tulsa stuff that's brought up in Watchmen, the TV series. It's like, this is crazy. Like I didn't know anything about this like thing that happened in American history.
Yep.
This is a similar sort of thing where you're like, this is crazy. I don't know how this happened in American history. There's a fucking scene in this where like characters are sitting in a cinema watching news clips about Tulsa riots. And I was like, wow, okay. Like really hitting the nail on the head with this one. So the story is basically it follows Leonardo DiCaprio plays Ernest Burkhart, who comes home to what is the actual place called? Oklahoma, right? Oklahoma. Sorry, but it's like it's all basically the Osage nation's land at this point, more or less. But it's Oklahoma. So comes home. You got Robert De Niro playing his uncle, William Hale, or King, as apparently everyone calls him, King Hale. And he's sort of living there, and he's like, he talks a lot of love about these Osage and whatever else, but behind their backs, he's a fucking snake, this dude. And then you've got the other main cast member is going to be Lily Gladstone, who plays Molly Burkhart, who's Osage pure, which is important. Like she comes from, because apparently the way the money is divided up, because basically the movie opens with a scene of them finding oil on this land, and then years after, they're really rich, and they're like, at the time, because I did the book, right? So prior to this movie coming out, I did listen to the book the movie's based on. The book is very different to the movie, because the movie just focuses on Ernest and Molly and William and like this core sort of relationship, where the book is more of a historical, like like those are big players in it, but like more like focuses on of elements and stuff like that. A lot of the lot more also on the FBI and stuff like that. So they were like the richest people in the world at the time, like per capita basis, like the richest like 1% basically were the Osage, because they were and the funny thing was, and I don't think the movie points this out at all, but the book did, is they were pushed out of their land by white people, and they're pushed onto this piece of land that was deemed piece of shit where they pushed to, and they end up finding oil there and getting super fucking rich. So it's
Suck it.
suckers. But of course, then you got a bunch of white people like William Hale who are trying to get their money somehow. And
Damn
the way they're
white
trying to
people.
get this, the way they're trying to get the money is basically legally, quote unquote, by marriage. So marriage to Osage equals money will eventually flow through to them, sort of thing. So Ernest comes home, and look, I know people can discuss this as much as they like other things, but like he's a bit of an idiot, and I think Leonardo DiCaprio does a good job at sort of portraying him as an idiot, because he is like he's not a smart dude in my mind, at least how he's like portrayed here and how he's talked about in the book. I don't think he was a particularly bright character. He's easily twisted by his uncle and just like gone along. However, he still does 100% participate and is evil in his own ways and manners. But yeah, he's a fucking idiot, really. But yeah, so the story just follows them in like this very long. I don't know exactly how many years the movie spans, but it does span like quite a lengthy amount of time, as you would hope for a 3.5 hour movie, I guess. But yeah, it's a terrible, terrible thing that happened. I don't know how else to put it, but the movie itself is just beautifully made. It's not, and I think, like I messaged Buddy after I watched it the next, because I saw he tweeted about it or that he was going to watch it. I messaged him the next morning and said, "What do you think?" And he was like, "Yeah, really, really enjoyed it. I'm not sure if it needed to be that long or whatever." And I think I said to him, like, I think the point is that, and because the movie's not in the rush, Martin Scorsese he's happy to have a lot of these scenes like just sit and sink, and like, he's not in the rush to get through this movie at all. But I think part of it is this was such the crime and the murders and the slow draining of these people from their land and destruction of them from deep within inside was done slowly over many years, so I feel like the movie's trying to portray this same sort of, give you that same vibe. It's not a fast-paced mafia movie, which we know Martin Scorsese can do. It's not a fast-paced Wolf of Wall Street. Like we know he can do a fast-paced movie if you want, even if it is nearly 3 hours, he can still make it fast-paced. So it's a purposeful decision. I think it works. Leonardo DiCaprio is really, really good in this. He's the most sour looking I've ever seen him. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a permanent like downturned face. Like the last hour of this movie, I'm pretty sure he's just I'm pretty sure, like, I've never seen him. I think he discovered a new muscle for his movie. He must have learned off Robert De Niro how to pull a good like downturned face. I feel like it just so learning from the pro there. Lily Gladstone is fantastic as well. Phenomenal. The crazy to read all these stories that she was gonna give up on acting until she got this message about, or an email, I think it was, from, "Hey, Martin Scorsese he wants to speak to you." It's like, what the fuck? Like sort of crazy like that. Beautifully shot, really good score as well, mixture of stuff. It's just, I don't know, my dude, Martin Scorsese's like fucking 80 whatever years old, and he just still like, all I know is this. I said to someone the other day, they asked what I thought of the movie, and I sound like such an old man. I think I just said, I was like, look, I'm just enjoying real movies while I still can. Because 10 years from now, I probably don't like movies anymore. They ain't going to be making them good anymore because they're all going to be fucking dead. Like, I have to put on all these fucking trash CGI fucking movies and whatever else. Like, I'm just enjoying good movies while I still can. And that's definitely this.
There'll still be movies. There's still a couple of directors who've got enough clout.
I got time left in Christopher Nolan, and
there's Nolan and Fincher and Ridley Scott's still.
Ridley Scott's on the way out. What are we talking about? Quentin Tarantino has
Michael Mann.
Michael Mann's making Heat too, I guess.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve.
Denny, yeah.
That's where all my hopes are. Yeah.
That's where your hopes lie. Like Denny.
Shout out to Dune Part 2, which was supposed to release
this week. Yeah.
This week.
Sad.
Yeah, crazy. I don't want to say. Yeah, it's a fantastic movie, and so happy I can watch it on the big screen and not just at home. I'm looking forward to rewatching it, but it's just such a beautifully photographed film with these wonderful sets and everything like that. I appreciate that I actually got to see them on the big screen.
How was the bladder?
I didn't go to the toilet once.
See?
My bladder will sit the fuck still if I'm engrossed.
Yeah.
Sometimes if a movie even
was there
spends
much movement in the cinema? What was the cinema like? You know?
Quiet for most of it, but then as I tweeted on the way out, sometimes I wait. I want to for movies. I want to know what people are saying. Sometimes with people crowds, I wait so I can like sort of want to hear what they're saying. You know, like I want to eavesdrop a little bit. And I literally walking out the doors, some dude turns to his friend and goes, "What'd you think?" And dude goes, "Oh, I don't know, man. It's pretty rough." And then the other dude says verbatim, I think it was just straight up, "Oh, yeah, I thought it was pretty fucking boring, man. Like, I thought there'd be more action." And I was like, "Lord help me. I'm going to slap this mother."
Do people not research the movies?
I don't know. I feel like it's because the trailer just had a lot of action in it, I guess. But also, I rewatched the trailer, and I'm pretty sure the trailer just has every explosion in the whole 3.5 hour movies within that one trailer. So, like, you know, it's like.
So, who's really at fault, is what you're saying?
I don't know. Like, it's also just like, I've seen other complaints, like, oh, like, they could have been done more to make it exciting. I'm like, it's a true story. Like,
yeah,
it also doesn't need to be so exciting. It's actually fucking haunting that this happened. And the other fucking crazy thing is that I couldn't help but think about the way home. And I don't know if we're getting too fucking political at this point, but the thing is, like, it's literally like a fucking narrative twist of like taking away these people's. It's a fucking ethnic cleansing, like, of a group of people, taking away their land, taking them away, and then the I don't know. It's this whole, like, yes, I don't know, a good thing. Like, we just had the no vote, not like,
yeah, it just, you know,
like, there's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to finding time to go see it in cinemas. But yeah, I'm glad that you're actually able to see one of these in the cinemas, you know, because usually
Apple ones I've had some good luck with, I feel.
Yeah.
Most of the time, yeah. I feel like the Apple ones all come to my cinema for some reason. Apple must, yeah.
All right. From that high note, let's move on to some other stuff.
Okay.
Over on All New Marvelcast, we talked about the first 3 episodes of the latest season of Loki.
Talking about my bladder not sitting still.
Yeah, how many times did you go to the bathroom during Loki?
Once in that last episode, I just left it playing. I just went.
Oh, wow, that's harsh.
I told you that last episode was boring. I'm fucking.
All right, so what are your thoughts on this latest season of Loki?
It's bad.
All right. Yeah, it's not great. It's obviously we're 3 episodes in, and it doesn't have a hell of a lot of direction. Doesn't have a lot of very memorable moments or stuff. Ki-Hu Kwan is fantastic, although it could just be a case of him being fantastic in everything, and we're just excited to see him. But he is very delightful. Tom Hiddleston. I mean, the acting is really good. It looks pretty good. He's just kind of got nothing to say, you know.
Yep.
So, listen to our very short discussion of Loki's season 2 so far over on New Buffercast, and then we will be subjecting ourselves to the weekly episodes from here on out. So,
I don't listen to me complain every week. It's going to be more entertaining. So,
yeah, hopefully. Also, we didn't talk about it because, you know, it ended while we were away.
Did it? Oh,
Ahsokha came to its conclusion. Hopefully you listened to our discussion of the finale on Holocron entries. It's been a couple of weeks. What are your overall feelings about Ahsokha? And are you surprised they haven't announced plans?
That show was bad too, I've decided.
Really?
Yeah, that show wasn't anywhere near as bad as the first 3 episodes of Loki, but overall, it's if I was rating it, I'm probably around a 5. You know what I mean?
Whoa, that is crazy to me.
The looking back, I'm cool. What did I enjoy? I enjoyed Ray Stevenson, Balin, cool. What else I enjoy? Dunno. And the thing is, I like Ahsoka, my favorite Star Wars character.
Mm-hmm.
Show was bad. Never call me a fanboy. I'm more than willing and open to saying something was shit. Ahsokka was pretty shit.
It's I thought it was solid. Obviously there were very high moments during the series, and there was a fair amount of meandering and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think there was enough there to enjoy. I think it's not far from the standard of Star Wars shows we've been enjoying so far. I don't think it's that far removed from The Mandalorian season 3.
No, it's not, but that was shit too.
I mean, is it shit just because we've had that season of Andor that everything afterwards is paled in comparison?
Season 1 of Mandalore was good on its own right. Completely different to Andor, but it had more of a that tone I feel like the show was going to follow, which was just the cowboy Ronin soul. You know what I mean? Like we had that, and then the show I do definitely feel like has changed a lot since that.
I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of fun moments. There was just a lot of stuff that it wasn't. They did not a lot, but there was a lot of stuff they didn't do. Is my issue with it. There were moments that happened that I wish happened on screen and not off screen. And yeah, I think the biggest disappointment is the Balin, Ray Stevenson passing, which they clearly had plans for him for the future, and they won't be fulfilled by Ray Stevenson.
Sucks. The last thing he's done will be both remembered as good and bad at the same time.
Sure. All right, so yes, listen to our talks over on Holocron Entries about Ahsokka. All right. Dylan, you watched a documentary called "The Boys Who Killed Jamie Bulger."
Yeah, it was fine. It was like on Amazon Prime. I think it was a telly movie at some point, so I wouldn't say it was like 45 minutes. It's probably like a BBC thing or whatever. Remember hearing about this one, and it was like these two kids like lead away a 2-year-old and then like kill him and stuff, and it's like one of those stories you hear about. I remember seeing the photo they had up the security of them like wheeling him off and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not like a deep dive. I think it was because at the time there's still court case happening and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, it was whatever.
All right. So when I've been away, I've started watching Kim's Convenience. So this is a Canadian sitcom about some Korean immigrants who run a convenience store in Toronto. I want to say off the top of my head. But yeah, it's a fun sitcom. I tried to watch it before because obviously it gathered a fan base in its like last few seasons, and of course it stars Simu Liu, so that's kind of where he got his break, I guess. And more recently, who plays the dad? Let me take a quick look. Who's now in a bunch of stuff.
Star Wars.
In Star Wars, and is about to be in Avatar. Paul Sun-Hyung Lee. But yeah, it follows this family living in Toronto, Korean family who kind of, get into awkward situations, customers. The dad's a cheapskate, who doesn't want to pay for anything, trying to find all these fun scams as to how to save money and that kind of stuff. But he has a frayed relationship with his son, played by Simu Liu, who works at a car rentals place, and he has like a love triangle kind of thing going on there, and will they, won't they thing with the manager. And then his sister, played by Andrea Bang, plays Janet, who's just, she just gets herself into the most awkward situations and has a habit of saying the worst thing at the worst possible time, which would normally be too awkward for me to make me want to watch. And there have been occasions where I've kind of like skipped ahead because I can't deal with the awkwardness of the situation. But yeah, it's a good time. I'm 2 seasons in, 13 episodes a season. It's pretty solid. It's just good to see representation at the very least. Even though apparently there was talk of there not being enough diversity on the writing team and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's an enjoyable show. All right, let's move into the mandatory Netflix segment of the show. Dylan, you started watching The Fall of the House of Usher.
I'm 2 episodes in.
Okay.
It's fantastic. I never want to watch more because then I'll be over. And then what will I do?
Okay.
Like, if I keep watching, it'll end. So I think I'll just stop. Yeah. And then every now and then I can remember it's a show when I'm sad about watching stuff like Loki, and I'm like, oh, whew,
I still have this.
It's fine. Yeah, so Fall of House of Usher is the brand new Netflix series from Mike Flanagan. It's basically a Succession, but a horror show. First episode starts current day sort of thing, where you've got the dad, it's played by Bruce Greenwood, and he's at a funeral for his last remaining family members who have died. So you know from the start of the show, though, at least in the room, the only remaining family members he has as the show starts are literally his current wife and granddaughter, I think is all that's there in the room. That's the first couple minutes of the show. And then you go for a little bit of this, that, whatever, and then he meets up with a cop who he probably knows, who's been trying to like catch him for like fraud and all these things over the years. And he's like, I'm finally ready like to tell my whole story. And then you like, you know, flashback from there to like a little bit of when him and his sister are kids. His sister played by Mary McDonnell. You get some of that, and then you get catch up to more current day sort of stuff, which is a couple weeks prior to that final funeral. So, yeah, you've got this massive family he has with different partners and stuff like that. But the show quickly sets up it's a whole like, if you're an usher, you're an usher. Like it doesn't matter. Like, you know, he treats his kids like as long as you this. Although some of the one of them, like you in them, you get some infighting and stuff like that. But very quickly, all the ushers are separated into their different sort of like what they're about and you know like what they do in the spare time. They're all shitheads. Like very quickly, it's like these are all shithead, rich, fuckhead people. You know, like there's no really getting around that, but you're like you're along for the ride because it's so enjoyable. And then you've got the supernatural element introduced early, which is that Carla Greeno, yeah, I think that's how you say her name. She plays this. I don't know. She is in the part in the first episode. There's a scene where Jan Roderick and Madeline, brother sister, go to this bar on New Year's Eve night. They're like in their 20s, I guess, at this point, and she's there. She's like a hostess or something like that. And then skip ahead, and here she is the same age. So like, there's already an element of like, well, something from the sins of you know the family's past is catching up to their current day sort of thing, like for what happened there. And there's some weird stuff with their mother and all these other elements, but just everyone who's on, all the actors are just so good, and the dialogue is just so like, I feel like it's a thing like some people hate like the way like people like Kevin Smith write movies or Quentin Tarantino, like very dialogue heavy at times, and like if you hate it, who would be someone else? Aaron Sorkin, you know, like very dialogue heavy and stuff, and some people like just that sort of the way he writes can rub you the wrong way. Mike Flanagan can get the same way. I feel over his last couple of series, he's got very dialogue heavy with his stuff, and I know it rubs people the wrong way. But fuck, do I enjoy just seeing him have characters just talk like that's good shit to me. Like just having characters back and forth talk is so good. Production value is just off the chain. It's definitely not like it's not a horror series. Like he's definitely pivoted more over the last few series into this genre of like it's undertones of horror, but it's not out to like jump scare you or anything like that. It's out to like it's spooky. It's spooky with some like there's some kills that happen. Like you go in knowing each of the family members are going to die, so you're expecting it as it starts to unravel already 2 episodes in. But yeah, I'm very much loving it as I thought, and I'm very much of the consideration that I'm just not in the rush to watch it. Like I just need to watch it before the end of the year, or like I need to watch it over the next couple of weeks, bare minimum. but
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to.
Yeah, you know, you have no urge to binge it, is what I'm getting. You know? Or stretch your
I'm
stealing out.
savoring it like a good bottle of wine, you know? Like,
You know?
is what I'd prefer. I'm letting it air, man. You know, like, but so good. Like, just I don't know. Mike Flanagan Netflix series is just some of the best shit Netflix ever has. It's like he's been such a blessing for them. I swear. It's just his shows always do well. Like you see them hit the top 10 pretty quickly and whatever else, which is good because there's genre. You know what I mean? Like it's horror, but it's horror that falls within the mass appeal usually for a lot of people. So,
all right. So I watched the documentary Beckham, which follows David Beckham.
It's a horror story too. I heard.
Kind of, you know,
it's crazy. Yeah.
It's a terrible story about a very good-looking young man falls victim to paparazzi and marries a Spice Girl. No, like as someone who enjoyed football during that time period, and was not a Manchester United fan, David Beckham was obviously a name that I feel like he transcended football. I think probably everybody had heard of David Beckham and had views on him. And kind of chronicles his kind of rise to becoming probably one of the first footballers to model and be more known for more than just playing football. But also it follows his relationship with Victoria. Well, I guess she's Victoria Beckham now. I can't remember her maiden name, but obviously one of the Spice Girls, and how that relationship was closely followed by the paparazzi and how they had to deal with that. And then there's a very important turning point in one of the World Cup matches when he was playing for England, where he makes a dumb decision and kicks out at somebody. He gets red carded. And how the vitriol from the entire nation after that was next level. It's I'm sure you've heard the story of how everybody kind of booed Adam Goods.
I know. I was a Beckham fan. I was a Manchester.
Okay.
I had a Manchester United jersey. I had this was when I was Beckham is when I was into soccer when I was playing as okay. Yeah, I know a lot of this stuff already.
Yeah. So obviously, he was pretty much booed and death threats and terrible stuff that kind of would not be acceptable probably nowadays. If even apparently if there was mail sent to him with bullets and that kind of stuff, crazy stuff. So yeah, it kind of follows his career.
Football is life.
To footballers also death to some people. But, follows his career through his years at Manchester United, then moving on from the club onto playing at Real Madrid, and then his time playing for LA Galaxy, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's an interesting look at this person who had a very good career, probably was never the best footballer in the world, but was very highly respected and very. I thought it was a very endearing. Everybody came out of it looking very good, even though reports now of the rumored mistress has come out. It's calling bullshit on a bunch of stuff in the documentary and stuff. But I think it makes them look quite good. If that was the aim.
I saw that one clip online with Victoria or whatever, saying about she got a start and she grew up poor and whatever.
Yeah.
And then David just pokes his head in the room tell the truth.
Yeah.
You got what car dropped you off at school in the morning?
Yeah. It's a Bentley.
It was a Bentley. But
yeah, lots of that kind of banter, which was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's on Netflix. They also watched the documentary Big Vape: The Rise and Fall of Juul. So you're familiar? You used to vape, Dylan. Are you familiar with Juul?
No, but a vape niche, baby.
Yeah. So it follows this the two co-founders, James Monsees and Adam Bowen, who graduated from Stanford University, and they had the thesis of the university thesis was, what if we could create a cigarette or a safer cigarette so that it doesn't have the harmful effects of tobacco. So what actually hurts you when you take a cigarette is the burning elements of tobacco. So the smoke and all that, not the actual nicotine and stuff inside that. So if you
Nicotine's
find
just the addictive part.
so if they could find a way to,
So
so if they could find a way to like, provide people with that nicotine hit without the burning of, the term they keep using is combustible cigarettes, and the harm would save a bunch of lives, like decrease lung cancer and all that kind of stuff, and like get people off cigarettes. So yeah, they get a bunch of tech funding, and they start designing what they imagine will be the e-cigarettes of the future. It follows like a couple of their different their slow rise. Like their first product doesn't really work. There's a bunch of different issues with it because like it's really hard to make something incredibly small with all the little things that they need to have in it. And like they would have like juices and oils in it, and then sometimes that stuff would like pour into people's mouths and that kind of stuff. And like there was like a 2%, no, 10% like of the every product they made was faulty. It's like really bad. And then they made like another product called the Pax or whatever that they thought was going to be really good, but then it kind of got co-opted by marijuana users instead of tobacco users, because it was like super easy to use to smoke pot and that kind of stuff. But then the Juul is like the thing that kind of blew up, which was their main vaping product. But the big turning point was their initial marketing campaign for the Juul was super youth orientated. Not on purpose, but it was very appealing to youth. And then they had like a bunch of influencers and stuff, like invited to events and that kind of stuff to kind of show off the Juul and that kind of stuff. So the unintended consequence of that was that this became very appealing to high school students and younger students, and then kind of started the vaping epidemic that happened within American schools and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a really interesting documentary. Obviously, it's a very fair documentary as well. I feel like both sides of the argument about how dangerous like vaping and these e-cigarettes actually are and that kind of stuff is like very well argued on both sides. It's like even just like the opening like preview kind of gives you a very good taste of what the actual documentary is going to be like. Yeah, they don't have any interviews with the actual co-founders and that kind of stuff. And a lot of people didn't want to actually like appear on camera and stuff. So they do have like a bunch of like animatics and like cartoony like stills and that kind of stuff to like take the place. So it's like visually quite interesting to look at. But yeah, I think it's really interesting. I just kind of binge watched the entire thing this morning. So
I just googled it. They're still selling them.
Yeah, they're still technically for sale.
Not in certain parts of the world, but including apparently Australia. But
well, they were planning to like expand elsewhere, but then the American government like kind of, the big thing was there was like a spate of like teenagers having like lung injuries, like illnesses that were related back to the Juul. They all vaped with Juuls, so they all like, it was reported, that was the news that reported out. But apparently all these people were like using contraband refills or whatever. Like instead of using the official ones, they were using like THC and stuff to like counterfeit stuff. But of course, none of that gets reported in the news. The Juul's safe. It was because they were doing this dumb thing. But yeah, I think really interesting documentary about
tinfoil hat.
Yeah,
big government, big companies don't like e-cigarettes doing well because a lot of them have money in cigarette companies. Tinfoil hat on.
I mean, that becomes an interesting point in the documentary as well. So
yeah, there
you go. That's a thing. But it's a very much an interesting documentary of testing the theory that's common in the tech world of Who cares? Who cares if you break it? Like, just make it. Like break everything and see if what works and that kind of stuff. Is like, and how much that kind of affects when it's a health issue. How that doesn't really work. So yeah, I would recommend checking out Big Vape. That's fantastic. A really good documentary. Oh, it's 4 episodes, so it's like
What's that
on Netflix.
on
It's
Netflix?
like, I don't know, 3.5 hours probably in total.
Hmm.
But yeah, really fascinating. And then I also finished Sex Education on my break. It's over.
It is over.
I'm somewhat satisfied.
Somewhat satisfied.
Yeah.
It's solid. You get what I mean about, like, I just feel like there's some character stories that are like set up, and like still feels like there was more you wanted from some of them.
Yeah. It just kind of,
Like, for example, without going spoilers, like Adam, I was like, oh no, I feel like
I feel like he could have had more.
Yeah.
You know. I enjoyed his arc during the season, but yeah, I wish they had more. I feel like it just kind of hinted at, happy endings for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Pun intended for this show, but yeah, there are some wild moments in this season. There's a, everybody's worst fear when they're putting up a PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
That's episode 1.
That's episode 1, right out the gate with the horror-inducing
big old dick on the
moments.
screen.
Yep. Well, but yeah, I'm enjoyed it. I think I would say it's probably the weakest of the 4 seasons.
Oh, it's definitely the weakest of the 4 seasons,
but still enjoyable.
Yeah.
So yeah, check out Sex Education. Now, Dylan, the last 2 episodes of What Do You Want to Watch that people would have listened to if they listened to every week was the Building the List episodes that we did.
I remember these nightmares, yes.
Yes, so as part of that, we were supposed to watch a movie each from our list of shame.
Oh, I completely forgot.
Did you happen to...
You should have reminded me. Completely forgot.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I watched one of the movies in the new segment I want to call...
It's about damn time.
About damn time.
It's about damn time.
Oh, time, goddamn.
Yeah. See, look, you've got a lot on your list, so even if I don't do this, didn't do it, it doesn't matter. Like, this, like the fact you watched one is barely scratching the surface. Like,
I think we equally had a lot of shameful movies on our list.
No, my don't have, like, I'm like, I had like 1 or 2 that I'd consider shameful. Others where like I just hadn't watched it, but it wouldn't be shameful. You had a lot that's just straight shameful.
Yeah. All right. So I watched Aliens, the James Cameron directed sequel to Ridley Scott's Alien, starring Sigourney Weaver.
Now I want to know, out of all the things that were on your list, how did you end up at Aliens?
It was the most readily available, which is on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I feel like it was pretty high on the list from memory.
Yeah, I was just wondering how, like, because it's a horror movie, man. But horror film,
I mean,
it's a thriller more than horror. But...
yeah, I think this one definitely is more of an action movie than Alien was.
Yeah, but still,
based on the fact that they just end up killing a lot more aliens.
Yeah.
First one, there was 1 alien. This one, there's a bunch, but they all seem to die a fair bit. It's like, oh, why didn't we use fire in the first one?
This is where all those alien colonial marines type like squad games come from. This movie.
Yes, so a lot of things like kind of make a lot more sense. Like going in, I'm like knew they like certain elements in this one. Like I knew there was going to be a lot more aliens. There was going to be an alien queen. There was going to be the cargo loader that I've seen in like
away from
Community.
Her, you bitch.
Yeah. I knew about Newt and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I didn't realize it was set 75 years after the first movie.
So that's why they did. That's why they did the Alien game they did a couple of years ago, PS4 one. So that was like Ripley's daughter. She lands on the original ship and everything goes looking for her. But by that time, she's frozen. So by the time she comes out of freeze in Aliens, like 75 years later, in canon Alien, her daughter's dead. So she never sees the daughter again.
Crazy. I didn't even realize she had a daughter. I remember.
Yeah,
yeah, that's super sad. But yeah, really good. Obviously, high level action, lots of fun sequences, crazy, like really fantastic character designs and like world, or sets and that kind of stuff. It's aged a little bit, like some of the ships going down and that kind of stuff, and there's a shot of no, there's the one person like flying like the ship to pick them up, and there's an alien pop out and murder them, and then the ship comes flying towards them. It doesn't look fantastic, but for the time, I'm sure it looked really good. And like the ending with stuff crashing down and Sigourney Weaver's like covering Newt, it just doesn't look very good. But yeah, really tense. Sigourney Weaver, badass. Like when she's going down that elevator with a bunch of guns into the fight the alien queen. That's really cool. Paul Reiser plays a fantastic slimy piece of shit corporate asshole. More what what more?
What do you think of Bishop?
Yeah, he was good. That's Michael Biehn, I want to say off the top of my head. No.
Yeah. I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah, because it becomes a thing now. So every movie after the first.
Oh no, Bishop's the android. That's right.
Yeah, was that?
Yeah,
was his? I can't remember who plays him.
It's Lance Henriksen.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I thought it was really good.
So because that becomes the thing. So that dude is just he's just Bishop in every movie now. That's the character. Because it's modeled after the actual Bishop, like the real life one. Like makes androids versions of himself. There's some deep lore you can get into here, Ash.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's good. James Cameron knows what he's doing with action movies, I guess. My question: do I need to watch any more Aliens?
Well, Aliens 3 is a controversial one.
Aliens Cubed.
Yeah, Aliens Cubed is a controversial one. Because this is one of those movies where there's alternate versions of the script and studio intervention and
this is David Fincher, right?
David Fincher. So it falls into there's a camp that love this movie and there's a camp that hates it. So it's very different. They've even done that thing where they did an audio podcast, like redone version of it that I've listened to, like of different the original script and stuff like that. I mean, I like all alien movies, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's some cool cast members in it. Charles Dance is in it, I think, and what's his call? Who played the Eighth Doctor is in it. What's his name? Paul McGannon, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Paul McGann.
Yeah, Paul McGann. There you go.
All right. Well, it's about damn time. Let's move into some film news. We've hit the 100 days mark on the actor strike. Yay! So yeah, it seems like after it seemed like there could potentially have been some ground made, things fell through. But it's been reported Hollywood's biggest stars offered to kick in $150 million over 3 years in dues to help end actor strike stalemate. After meeting on Tuesday's Zoom call to figure out how to end an actor strike that will be stretched beyond 100 days, a group of Hollywood's biggest stars laid out SAG-AFTRA's leaders a groundbreaking proposal that amounts to the town's biggest owners defraying the costs to AMTP signatories by eliminating the cap on membership dues to be used to bolster health benefits and other areas that SAG-AFTRA is trying to shore up. The offer will remove the $1 million cap on membership dues in an effort to bring a residual system to streaming. The stars have also proposed a formula that would make the lowest names on their call sheet, who most need the money, the first to be paid. Deadline here is that SAG-AFTRA leaders brought the offer to its negotiating committee last night. George Clooney is amongst the stars and said a lot of the top earners want to be part of the solution. We've offered to remove the caps on dues, which would bring over $50 million to the union annually, well over $150 million over 3 years. We think it's fair of us to pay more into the union. We also are suggesting a bottom-up residual structure, meaning the top of the call sheet would be the last to collect the residuals, not the first. These negotiations will be ongoing, but we wanted to show that we're all in this together and find ways to help close the gap on actors getting paid. So yeah. Good move by a lot of these big actors to try and help the little guys, but really the AMTP should have taken and made a deal already. To be perfectly honest, it shouldn't be on the actors, be known actors to make cuts for themselves.
I'm like, that sounds great, but I feel like that's not the way the solution should come.
Mm.
You know, like you're just trying to, like, I understand they're trying to get it so you can get the money to people who need it the most. But I'm also like, well, maybe just set up a thing, like maybe just give them the money and then you can, because like because that doesn't change the conditions at all. Like it just, you know what I mean?
I mean, what it does is, I guess it just makes it more appealing for the AMTP to agree to a deal.
Mm.
You know,
But not one that, yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like this is, am I missing something? I'm like, I don't feel like this helps people in the longer run, like 10, 20 years from now.
well, I think it hurts the big stars of the future. I guess like they're not going to get the amount of money that the current big stars who have already made that money would get. But you know, it's better than nothing, and they. You know, you're not going to get those big stars of the future if they're not getting the residuals that they need for working lower on the call sheet and that kind of stuff. So, I know, yeah, it's a good gesture. We'll see if it actually amounts to anything. Unfortunately, here we go. There's been a lot of news around the Daredevil TV series. The Hollywood Reporter wrote an article, Daredevil hits reset button as Marvel overhauls its TV business. Launched during the pandemic with a playbook to shoot $150 million plus series with no pilots, the Disney unit is undergoing growing pains and seeing the logic of traditional TV culture. It didn't take long to see the problem after Marvel Studios' Daredevil Born Again paused production in mid-June during the writer's strike. Fewer than half of the series' 18 episodes have been shot. There was enough for Marvel executives, including Chief Kevin Feige, to review the footage and come away with a clear-eyed assessment. The show wasn't working. So in late September, Marvel quietly let go of head writers Chris Lord and Matt Corman, and also released the directors for the remainder of the season as part of a significant creative reboot of the series, the Hollywood Reporter has learned. The studio is now on the hunt for new writers and directors for the project, which stars Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, a blind lawyer turned superhero. The Daredevil revamp is the latest in a series of growing pains for Marvel Studio Television. Since debuting the Emmy-winning WandaVision in January 2021, the studio, which dominated the film industry in the 2010s, has released more than 50 hours of TV programming after creating a small-screen division from the ground up during the pandemic. Through it all, the company eschewed the traditional TV making model. It didn't commission pilots, but instead shot entire 150 million plus seasons of TV on the fly. It didn't hire showrunners, but instead it depended on film executives to run its series. And as Marvel does for its movies, it relied on post-production and reshoots to fix what wasn't working. Even though they remain, along with the Star Wars titles, the most watched shows on Disney Plus, Marvel series have recently faced a number of creative challenges and cries of diminishing returns from critics and audience metrics, causing a major shift at the studio to move to make TV shows the more traditional way. I'm sure it's a dumb question based on the fact that we talked about Loki earlier in the season, earlier in the show. But do you think Marvel learning from its mistakes now and putting Daredevil on ice is a good move?
Yes.
Yeah,
you should know my fucking thoughts on this. Like,
yeah, I know.
What
yeah,
what
I feel like it was
from
you know, seeing if there was anything there, but
trash Marvel bullshit. Fucking.
I mean, it's definitely been interesting, and I feel like a lot of dirty laundry has kind of come out in the last few days, where they've kind of like, it's been reported that a lot of the series, or Marvel projects that they wanted to do, have been announced. Like they were kind of forced to announce under the previous CEO because he wanted more exciting announcements for Deadline Day or Investor Day and that kind of stuff. Like Kevin Feige was kind of forced into announcing that they were making a Fantastic Four movie, even though it wasn't even close to like anything. Just so they could like get a big buzz around their Investor Day or whatever. And you know, a lot of these series have kind of felt rushed to get more stuff on Disney Plus. But yeah, this is promising if they're like, oh, we just made a bunch of stuff, it's bad. Let's not release it. It's like, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's figure stuff out before we make a terrible mistake by releasing this. I don't know. But it's also interesting, where are all the cries of people like, why can't we watch this? It's already been shot. Just let us see it.
No one wants to see
It's
this.
it's Batgirl all over again. That's what I'm hearing.
No, people want to watch Batgirl. People want to watch Batgirl.
But yeah, very interesting. Like, obviously, what does this mean for like Marvel series going forward? Are we going to see anything anytime soon? I would suspect not. But yeah, check out a lot of the information around Daredevil. So, yeah, this is an interesting one. Also over at Hollywood Reporter, talking about Taylor Swift, who everybody's talking about. There probably isn't a top director or star who didn't envy Taylor Swift for doing an end run around Hollywood's studio system and teaming directly with the AMC's theaters to bring a concert movie to the big screen. That way, she could be in the driver's seat versus having a studio indie distributor tell her how to market and distribute her movie. Taylor Swift Eras Tour is certainly an unqualified win after opening to a record $92.8 million domestically and $123.5 million globally over the October 13th to 15th weekend. It also the highest grossing concert pick of all time in North America, as well as ranking as the second biggest October domestic debut, not adjusted for inflation. The questions linger as to why Eras Tour came in behind an expected $100 million opening in North America and $150 million globally, and whether it left millions on the table as a result of its unorthodox release rollout. Some point to the unusual messaging around the movie, such as Swift and AMC encouraging fans to sing and dance while they watch the 2-hour, 48-minute movie. There are also concerns that the independent theater circuits were kept in the dark regarding key decisions because of the AMC's unique role as distributor and exhibitor. One thing is fairly certain, Swift and her team were the masterminds behind every move, and another given, there's bound to be sour grapes on the part of the studios who would have commanded a distribution fee of anywhere between 8% to 15%. One studio executive said, it's hard to balk at the $90 million opening. I think it's great for the industry and it's great for AMC, but there was money left on the table by not having professionals handle it. Dylan, what are your thoughts on the success of the Taylor Swift Eras Tour film?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's got people going to cinemas. It's helped get some money back into some of these chains and around the world, so I can't really complain too much about that. It's taken up about 70% of my local cinema, so I can't complain about that, I guess. They're like, I can show Killers of the Flower Moon twice a day. Like, it's for 3.5 hours, and every other cinema's just playing Taylor Swift, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, whatever. It's fucking.
Do you think they left money on the table by not, like, they kind of just announced it and it was released reasonably quickly? Like,
nah, I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah, I think probably these complaints are like studio executives being a little grumpy. Like,
I don't think this needed any of their hands involved.
No, I mean, the film was already shot. It's Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Swifties got it, you know what I mean?
The Swifties got it. I'm sure they're seeing it like every day. You see the crazy viral video of a bunch of people like, so jumping around in a circle.
Oh, that was a concert. I thought that was a cult gathering.
Yeah, that was a concert film.
Oh, right, okay.
Similar in some regards.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, Taylor Swift just keeps winning. Except when it comes to love. Here's an interesting one. Netflix, according to a Bloomberg report, quoting Josh Simon, the company's vice president of community products, says Netflix aims to open a network of stores offering retail, dining, and live entertainment that leverages its TV shows and movies. Netflix has not announced what it will be selling at the locations. It's unclear if it's DVDs or any type of physical media will be part of the inventory. The streamer plans to open the first of these 2 Netflix House locations in unannounced cities in the US in 2025. It hopes to expand the concept to major cities around the world thereafter. Josh Simon said to Bloomberg, "We've seen how much fans love to immerse themselves in the world of our movies and TV shows. We've been thinking a lot about how to take that to the next level." Though Disney, a major Netflix competitor, has been in the retail dining and live entertainment space for decades, such offerings have not been part of Netflix's core brand. The company has recently dabbled in these areas. Of course, they've had Stranger Things pop-up stores, and they've had the Queen's Ball Bridgerton experience, a traveling production around the world and that kind of stuff. Dylan, what are your thoughts on Netflix opening a brick and mortar store, and how amusing is that?
Very amusing. Let's take a streaming service and turn it into like the pop-up things are fine, but I just think this is, I don't know. Are they bringing back discs that you can rent from there?
I don't think so. I think it's more of a I don't know, like Planet Hollywood kind of sounds
Buy
like.
subscription cards from in there for a cheaper price. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah.
You can eat somewhere that has a bunch of big mouth characters on the wall staring at you while you eat.
I'll do that at home if I want.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe they've got theme stuff every month, or something. Special stuff on the menu.
Sounds dumb to me.
You go in and you're not sure what is cake and what isn't cake. It's a whole thing.
Still sounds dumb to me.
Yeah. If they created physical stores and that was the only place to buy physical copies of Netflix shows,
sounds great to me. Sounds awesome. Give it to me.
This is the only place you can buy the Matt Flanagan shows.
Make it now.
In 4K, yeah.
Collector's editions too.
Maybe exclusive. I mean that would be cool, but I don't think that's what they're planning. But
all right, don't care then.
It's what they should do. Last story for this week, one that surprisingly got your interest. Almost 30 years after first appearing as an animated TV series, Gargoyles is taking flight once more, this time in live action. Two major names in the creature feature business, Gary Dolberman and James Wan's Atomic Monster banner, known for his collaborations on the hit Annabelle horror movies, have teamed up to remake the 1990s cartoon as a live-action series. Dolberman will write, executive produce, and showrun the series with Atomic Monster, the company run by Wan and Michael Clear, joining the executive producing ranks. The project is described as being in early development at Disney-branded television. Of course, Gargoyles was made by Walt Disney Animation, aired 3 seasons from 1994 to 1997. The premise involved gargoyle statues moved from a castle in Scotland to modern-day New York. Once in the Big Apple, the statues awaken from a 1,000-year spell and take on the mantle of protecting the city, becoming, as the show's narration gravely said, stone by day, warriors by night. Dylan, what are your thoughts on a live-action adaptation of Gargoyles?
I don't know why you keep making this comment like this. Story grabbed your attention for some reason. I love the Gargoyle show.
I feel like Gargoyles is not this massive, seminal cartoon.
You sure?
I feel like it is reasonably niche. It's not one, I think, I don't think everybody watched Gargoyles.
Gargoyles is on. Darkwing Duck was on. Batman the
I
Animated
think
Series.
more people, I think 2 of those are more well-known than Gargoyles,
I guess.
Not to diminish from Gargoyles, but,
Fair enough. I'm optimistic. I'm not super think this is going to be great because a live action Gargoyles just sounds like trouble. It just it works in animation. It works with that style, that whatever else. It's cool. The show is cool. I have very fun memories of it. I'll definitely be keen to see how this pans out across trailers and stuff like that. And I'll go watch it, even if it looks terrible. But I wouldn't say that a live action Gargoyles has me super excited. Has me super interested.
Yeah,
I'd be super excited.
Yeah, I have fond memories of Gargoyles, but I wasn't a super fan. I don't remember their names. I don't remember the plot.
I wouldn't say I'm a super fan. I basically any of those 90s animated Batman's wannabe shows. I was about those. Any of those I was about. And this falls in that category.
Any cartoon that was set at night. It's all Dylan.
Fucking love cartoons set at night. Yeah. All about them.
Absolutely. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see like how much CGI. Okay.
I love CGI a lot.
Yeah.
A
Massive
lot, yeah.
CGI.
Massive CGI.
Gargoyles.
Goggles, yeah.
All right, let's give some thumbs to trailers. Of course, you can find all the trailers we're about to talk about in the show notes below. Tough one, seeing us all the way for a while. A lot of good trailers came out that could include out of my current.
You got rules, you
Carl,
know.
I got rules. Five a week.
Oh, right.
It's the max. So yeah. Hopefully these are all ones you enjoyed. Well,
Find out
kicking
soon.
things off. American Fiction, directed by Cord Jefferson, starring Jeffrey Wright, Tracy Ellis Ross, Issa Rae, and Sterling K. Brown. Monk is a frustrated novelist who's fed up with the establishment that profits from the black entertainment that relies on tried and offensive tropes. To prove his point, he uses a pen name to write an outlandish black book of his own, a book that propels him to the heart of hypocrisy and the madness he claims to disdain. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for American Fiction? Big winner at the Toronto Film Festival, I want to say, off the top of my head.
Double thumbs up. Looks fantastic. Very funny. I love the tone of this whole project. Jeffrey Wright looks so like I've never seen him. At least I've never watched anything where he's done something like with this
More
tone. I feel like
comedic.
he does the always like serious shit and everything I've ever seen him in. So, yeah, I'm all about this. I think it looks great. Double thumbs up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up from me as well. Premiered at Toronto, won the People's Choice Award, was acquired by Amazon MGM, I think. There, or maybe it was acquired before. But yeah, looks amazing, looks really fun. Obviously, very over the top, very, tongue in cheek, that kind of stuff. Jeffrey Wright, again, like you said, kind of playing against type. Yeah. Look at his resume. I guess he was in Asteroid City, which I guess, and the French Dispatch. So those are kind of a little bit more comedic, but or lighter in tone. But yeah, this looks really good. I'm excited to watch this. There is currently no Australian release date, but is releasing in the US on December 15th. Next trailer is for Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. Created by Chris Black and developed by Chris Black and Matt Fraction. Starring Kurt Russell, Wyatt Russell, Anna Sawai, Kirsty Clemens, Ren Watanabe, Mari Yamamoto, and its home, Joe Tippett, and Elisa Lasowski. Following the epic battle between Godzilla and the Mutos that leveled San Francisco, and the shocking revelation that monsters are real, 2 siblings, following in their father's footsteps, uncover their family's connection to the secretive organization known as Monarch. Clues lead them into the world of monsters and ultimately down the rabbit hole to Army Officer Lee Shaw, taking place in the 1950s and half a century later, when Monarch is threatened by what Shaw knows. The dramatic saga spanning 3 generations reveals buried secrets and the ways that epic earth-shattering events can reverberate through our lives. Dylan, what are your thoughts on this entry in the Godzilla verse?
I think it's called the Monsters verse.
The Monsters verse.
Monster Universe. Whatever
Monster Universe.
Yeah.
Kong verse.
Oh, no. You're going backwards. It's the Monsterverse. The idea is to include many of the monsters in one title, so Monsterverse. So just call it Godzilla or Kong.
The Monster Mash verse.
Yep, that's it. So double thumbs up for this. I'm keen. I think it looks really visually. It looks fantastic for a lot of money in this for a TV show. Godzilla looks great. Then the trailer and everything like that. Focusing on Monarch is I'm down for that. The big secret organization bad guy of the movies and stuff. The movies, I enjoyed watching the movies. Don't love them. I'm in the camp of the first one's fantastic, and I don't know, it's not 10 out of 10, but like I really like the first one, and a lot of people hate it because not enough Godzilla. So, but yeah, I it's crazy to think.
Well, this sounds like it'll be for you.
Yeah, this sounds like it'll be for me. Less monsters, more people.
Yeah, I give it 2 thumbs up as well. I think it looks really good. I don't think a lot of the stuff in the description is very clear from this trailer, but I think there's enough there to get you interested. I love the idea of Wyatt Russell playing young Kurt Russell. That's fun. And yeah, Godzilla at the end of this trailer looks really good. Like
In sand.
yeah, sand everywhere.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm keen to check this out. So yeah, this is releasing on Apple TV Plus from starting on November 17th. Next trailer is for The Beekeeper, directed by David Ayer, starring Jason Statham, Amy Raver Latman, Josh Hutcherson, Bobby Nadiri, Minnie Driver, Felicia Rashad, and Jeremy Irons. Mr. Clay is a former operative of clandestine organization called Beekeepers. After his friend and neighbor dies by suicide after falling for a phishing scam, Mr. Clay sets out to exact revenge against the company responsible. Dylan, had you heard of The Beekeeper before?
No,
Watch this
why
trailer.
would I have heard of the Beekeeper before?
Well, it's a Jason Statham movie. Okay? You're a big Jason Statham boy. You like your action movies. You're a David Ayer fan. No,
double thumbs down on this one.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, this looks boring. This looks bad. This looks like every other Jason Statham movie I've ever watched.
This is 2 thumbs up for me. I think it looks like incredibly dumb fun. Just over the top ridiculousness. He's a beekeeper, Dylan. He's a beekeeper, but he turns out to be a crazy assassin taking out people in call centers. I mean, what more just thing can you be doing? You know, just the crazy action, just the ridiculousness of some of the situations, like him walking up to a bunch of FBI agents and like they were searching for him and get into a fight. Him ripping off Josh Hutcherson's fingers and then attaching him to his moving car. A lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this. Beekeeper. Give us the Beekeeper franchise. Beekeeper coming to cinemas 11th of January. Next trailer. The Curse. Created by Nathan Fielder and Benny Safdie, starring Nathan Fielder, Benny Safdie, and Emma Stone. An alleged curse disturbs the relationship of a newly married couple as they try to conceive a child while co-starring in their new home improvement show. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for The Curse?
Double thumbs up. Looks great. Can't wait. They're making fun of all these fucking bullshit wannabe influencers and stuff, and they give that kid fucking $100 and go take it back. They deserve to be cursed. Obviously Nathan Fielder. Like, I don't know. Are we saying like he blew up with the rehearsal? I feel like
I think you went to another level.
Went to another
of
level.
notoriety.
Yeah. So, I think that's led to this in some ways, from what at least I could read between the lines. Because they released some pictures of this before the trailer, and just him with Emma Stone, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but they've been seen in public together, like working.
Yeah, it's just so weird though.
Yeah.
Like, but
Benny
Benny
like,
Safdie,
is this another season to the
yeah,
rehearsal?
but then Benny Safdie with the long hair, and this is also just like
Yeah.
very funny to me. Yeah, double thumbs up, Kane.
Yeah, this is 2 thumbs up for me as well. Very weird looking, crazy. Yeah, him being cursed. I don't think anybody Nathan Fielder could pull it off. It's like, oh, I meant to give you I only had 100. Like, let me come back with a 20. It's like so awkward. It's just, yeah, looks like it's going to be crazy. A lot of weird shit happening. Just the reflective house is really weird as well. Like how, Emma Stone looks really good in this. So yeah, I'm keen to find out what craziness these two have come up with. So yeah, The Curse is coming to Paramount Plus on the 11th of November. Last trailer for this week, The Iron Claw, directed by Sean Durkin, starring Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, Harris Dickinson, Maura Turney, Holt McClaney, and Lily James. The true story of the inseparable Von Erich brothers, who made history in the intensely competitive world of professional wrestling in the early 1980s through tragedy and triumph under the shadow of their domineering father and coach, The brothers seek larger-than-life immortality on the biggest stage in sports. Dylan, what do you think of this wrestling movie?
Oh,
Trailer.
double thumbs up. What a fucking looks great. Looks absolutely fantastic. I think Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White just look so good in this. Seen people point out that Zac Efron at the start, just like he's like bouncing. He's just against the ropes, like doing it like a champ. So I appreciate that he's like actually done some training and stuff like that. So, but also for anyone who knows the Von Erich story, it's covered in deep in like the first or one of the first episodes of season 1 of
Dark Side of Wrestling.
Dark Side of the Ring. Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
And that's like obviously that has to be told like within a 48-minute episode, but this is a fucking it's a big disaster. Like it is this is gonna be
There's a story to tell.
There's a story to fucking tell here. So very keen to watch this. I think the cast looks great. Serious movie. Yeah, I don't know. Will it get shunned because it's a fucking wrestling movie? But it's like it's not about the wrestling so much as it is the people. So
It's an interesting thing because it's a wrestling movie about wrestling, but it's an A24 movie.
yeah, it's A24
So-
movie. Yeah, so
So it's like, where's it fit? It stars Zac Efron, but it's got everybody's favorite actor at the moment, Jeremy Allen White. In it. It's like, it just fills the whole spectrum, you know.
and MJF's in it. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. This 2 thumbs up looks fantastic. Yeah. I don't know anything about the Von Erichs really, other than they were family in the wrestling in the South. I don't know if I want to go in without knowing or find out before the thing comes out. So, but yeah, I'm definitely one I'm looking forward to as well. So, this one is releasing on the 18th of January. So, a little while to wait.
fucking, but just quickly, Holt McCallany, so good in this trailer. Like,
Okay.
little fucking evil dad.
we hate / love an evil dad.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into this week's top 3.
Definitely in the top 3.
And in anticipation of Five Nights at Freddy's
Yeah, I agree with
releasing
that.
in cinemas,
Yeah.
we're doing top 3 scary robots. And yes, 2 regular episodes ago, we did do top 3 robots in film. So it is slightly similar, but also different. Film was number 3.
This was very hard. I found I struggled a lot.
Mm.
I feel like I'm gonna have very similar this, but number 3, I've actually gone with Megatron.
Ooh.
Number 3, Transformers, evil villain,
Anyone in particular?
big robot, Megatron.
Yeah, any film particular or product in particular?
Oh no, the original Transformers movie, animated movie.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Didn't you turn into a big gun in that one?
Yep, sure did. What's more evil than a big gun?
Can't argue with that.
That's right.
My number 3, Megan.
Do you watch
She's
Megan?
scary, dude. Yes. That was this year, believe it.
That was this year.
I'm pretty sure Megan was.
Time's a blur. Fucking.
No, it was last year, thank God.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Megan. Creepy little girl robot
Hmm.
who just murders everybody.
Mm.
Terrifying. You know? Because nobody wants to die and then have a little girl TikTok dancing over the dead body, you know? That's
That's how we're all going to
Everyone's-
go these days.
that's how we're probably going to
That's how
go.
we're all going to go.
That'll just bomb by some random people.
Yeah.
Dylan, what's your number 2?
Any of the I don't know how to word it, but I'm just going to go with the agents from Matrix.
Okay.
Especially the first movie, because I feel like I'm going from the Matrix because in that movie they were scary. I feel like maybe they're not as scary because they're not like as prevalent, and it mostly just focuses on Agent Smith in the sequels. But I remember the first movie, they actually felt scary, like scary robots. So that's why I'm putting them in this category.
Okay. My number 2 is also for the Matrix. But I've gone with the Sentinels, the actual robots in the real world. Crazy, scary, design with like all the tentacles and shit, and like like grab you and like murder you in the real world. It's terrifying. So yeah, it's my number 2. So Dylan, what's your number 1? Scary robots.
T800 Terminator OG.
Okay,
I'll
I've
be
gone
back.
T1000, which is scarier because it's more unstoppable and transformable and melting through shit.
Maybe again, this is like a tonal thing, but like because I picked that for like best robot or whatever somewhere on my list. I can't remember what position, but like I never found the sequel. I never found T2 as scary because again, James Cameron, more of the action thriller vibe. But the first one, slower paced and everything, I did find like, especially when I was a kid and I watched all these movies, and I watched them within like quick succession because that was all out at that point. I definitely found the first one scarier with the slower paced, like T800 chasing them sort of thing.
See, I didn't watch the first one until much later, so the second one was always the one that was playing constantly in my house. So, yeah, I feel like he was more willing to kill other people as well to get to what he wanted as well. He was more than willing to take out innocent bystanders.
Fair enough.
Dylan, this week, what do you want to watch?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it looks terrible. Can't wait. I feel like I have no, like, it's just so weird to me. This movie is such a weird project that I'm so keen. It's just so fucking, it's just such a weird thing. I don't know.
Anything else?
I forgot to look at TV shows. What TV shows are out this week? Nope. No. Nah, fuck it. Life Our Planet Season 1. Life on Our Planet Season 1. Yeah. Baby.
Okay.
Netflix. David Attenborough, give it to me. Watched the trailer the other day. It's fucking beautiful. They show all these beautiful animals, stunning cinematography, and like beautiful footage. And then they like cut the footage of us destroying the planet. It's great. It makes me feel terrible.
Awesome. That's what I want to hear.
Love that.
I'm looking forward to watching Pluto, which was releasing on Netflix. It's an anime based on a manga based on the Astro Boy story. So yeah, it looks really good. The art style of the anime looks like it's very very true to the art style of the manga and that kind of stuff. So looking forward to that. I'm keen to check out Dumb Money, which will get a proper release this week about the GameStop stock stuff. That was going to be a lot of fun. But I'm also going to be checking out The Killer this week.
You can't pick more than one movie. I don't know if you made that, like, there's a one movie and one TV show thing. Like, there's 5 trailers, one movie, one TV show. Like, there's only one pick.
I'm just helping people know what's coming out this week.
Okay, well, then just make a segment where you read out what's coming out and call it The Drop. Right? Stop fucking around.
No, you would like that because then you would know what's coming out and then you can decide, instead of me surprising you each week. All right. Also, Pain Hustlers, the 7th iteration of the drugs story. The 7th version of the Michael Keaton TV show is coming out this week as well.
Oh, yeah. They keep remaking it.
Yeah, it's weird. All right, let us know what you want to watch this week by going to explosion.com/Twitter and letting us know on X, or by going to explosion.com/Discord, letting us know what you want to watch there. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars. Anyone leave 5 stars, or just tell people about the show. And if you've enjoyed this episode, Thor's worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosion.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.